I am here with my dear friend Buzz the Bee from Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. You are going to want to keep a close eye on the weather today, am I right? And let me tell you, it's time now for your local weather report, brought to you by Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Let's buzz on over to the Main Street Media TV Weather Center.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather update.
Good morning to you. I'm Ben Luna coming to you from the Home Weather Center on this Monday. It is the day after the groundhog saw his shadow, but looking at our 7-day forecast, you'd say, hey, it's springtime. I don't think we're quite in Puxatawny Phil's jurisdiction. I don't think we're done with winter yet, but at least it is a preview of springtime around here this week, including a chance for a few springtime storms. Temperatures across the region today, nice and comfortable 72 under plenty of sunshine across the region. We'll maintain warmer air here for tomorrow, though slightly cooler thanks to some added clouds for Tuesday. Showers will be around the region for Wednesday, thunderstorms Thursday of this week, and then that's a cold front that's going to bring in that round of thunderstorm activity here before we hit Friday. Cooler temps in for Friday and part of the coming weekend. However, anticipate more shower activity here for Saturday and Sunday. That is a check on your forecast. Have a blessed day.
Thank you for that update. Tune in each day on Mornings on Main Street for an up-to-date weather report brought to you by Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. All of their contact information is below. Have a great day.
Hi, kids. Hot tea.
Welcome to Mornings on Main Street. I'm your host, Stefanie Miller. Thanks for joining us. There are resources out there, both public and private, for students and families, but oftentimes it is challenging to navigate. And that is where Communities in Schools of Tennessee comes in. Our show today focuses on this organization and how they're working with students and families in 16 counties, one of those counties being right here in Davidson County, and one of the schools, Tom Joy Elementary School. The program manager here at Tom Joy Elementary works with 10% of the population of students here at the school. We hear from her now on why she says it takes a village.
I collaborate with the school social worker to sometimes do home visits. I also do conferences with the parents, with the school counselors, and then I also work with the administration as well to make sure that the students that we serve are supported. We're in clusters now. So in the Maplewood cluster, we have CIS in the school. So like in Tom Joy and in Jerry Baxter and in Maplewood, we all have CIS program managers. So that's important because my little elementary students, they have older siblings who might need the support as well. And then they get to follow through the program as they grow up and continue getting that support.
Coming up, we're not only going to hear from Jazzmin Mitchell, the program manager here at Tom Joy Elementary, but also one of her students. Before that, we're going to sit down with the CEO of Communities in Schools of Tennessee to get a full look on the history and how they're looking to help make students and families successful as they move through the years from elementary, middle, and high schools. But first this morning, let's get a check of our headlines.
Hello, here's the latest news and weather from Main Street Media TV. The $447 million school voucher bill, offering 20,000 education freedom scholarships to Tennessee students, has been approved, despite opposition, marking a significant achievement for Governor Bill Lee. An 81-year-old Portland man, Joseph Anthony Scrofny, is charged with first-degree murder following the death of his wife, Linda Scrofny, who was found with neck bruising and facial blood in her home. 3 Florida men are charged for a series of Sunglass Hut burglaries across multiple states, stealing over $1 million in merchandise. Lawrence County Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition warns of scam emails purportedly from its staff, asking for money and gift cards, and urges recipients to verify the source before clicking any links. Nashville's Highland Capital is revitalizing the former Shadowbrook Mall property, signing major retail leases with Academy Sports, Beals, and Five Below, with more national retailers expected soon. For more news and weather, visit us online at mainstreetmediatn.com. Thanks for watching.
So Busy Bee is a very close-knit family. We fight just like every family does. We have arguments, but we always come out with a solution to the problems. We don't just fight about what we want, we fight about what customers need. We want to make sure that every customer we go to is more than satisfied. And that doesn't just start whenever we show up at their door, that starts when we show up every day at work. We want to make sure that we are serving our customers to the best of our ability.
Step into the Lionel retail store at Opry Mills, Nashville, and you'll be captivated by all the magic of the 123-year history of Lionel trains. Whether you're already a train enthusiast or just getting started, Lionel will energize your love for trains. NASCAR fan? Come check out your local Lionel station to learn all there is to know about model trains and die-cast NASCAR collectibles. Visit nashville.lionel.com or call 615-455-9399.
You're seeing the signs too, right?
What signs?
This holiday season, the largest lantern festival in the country returns to Nashville Zoo. Experience more than 1,000 all-new, handcrafted lanterns, towering creatures, magical worlds, and a North Pole village. At the center of it all, the Smashville Ice Rink. Welcome back to Zoolumination at Nashville Zoo. Bigger, brighter, and better than ever.
Nashville's Nutcracker returns to TPAC this December, presented by Nashville Ballet. This holiday season, audiences will journey with Clara and the Nutcracker Prince through Nashville's history and the land of sweets. Tickets at nashvilleballet.com.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. I am thrilled to highlight the work being done by communities and schools of Tennessee. What they're doing for the students in not only one county, but get this, in 16 counties, helping 59 schools, more than 19,000 students. They're doing this by helping students navigate and achieve and be successful in what they're doing there in schools. And to tell us more about all the programs, how this got started, we have the CEO of Communities and Schools of Tennessee. We have Meredith Benton. Meredith, thank you so much for your time.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me today. I'm so excited.
I am thrilled. Again, from what I've been reading, you truly help each and every student achieve as much success as they can while they're in schools. First off, share with us how this got started here in the state of Tennessee.
Yeah, definitely. So this got started about 12 years ago by a group of Nashvillians who were looking at how do we best support students outside of academics. So we know that over 80% of what affects a student in school are things that happen outside of school, things that are happening in their home life, their family life. While students are part of a school, they're also part of a community. And so what they were looking for were solutions that helped bridge that gap between the needs of a student in a school and the needs of a school and the resources that are available in a community. And they were able to find Communities and Schools, as we are part of a national network that's existed since the 70s across the country.
Oh, wow. So are you in school? Like, do you have someone from the office in the school, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. So we go with a one-to-one model where we have a program manager in each and every one of the schools that we serve. They are a full-time full-time employee in that school, and they are there all day, every day to serve and support that school through building relationships with the students, the families, and the staff.
I want to say, back in the day, I remember being in school and say you have someone that's been out consecutive days. And it's always like, you never knew why. And typically it always seemed like it was in part on the student. We have learned through all of these years, through these decades, that it is typically due to another circumstance that is out of that student's control. How do you talk with the student to let them know it's okay and we're here for you?
Yeah, great question. So we're brought into schools primarily when they're seeing an issue with chronic absenteeism. So since the pandemic, we have seen a national trend of kids just not returning to school and not returning to school for the number of days that they need to. And at Communities in Schools, what we're able to do is have that staff member build a positive working relationship with those students and their families. So again, it's a lot of times we're talking about kids who have no control over whether they get a ride to school or don't get a ride to school, or if they're missing or if they're not missing. They're part of a family that's helping them navigate all of that. And so we work with both the student and the family to try and uncover the root cause. Chronic absenteeism is a symptom of other problems. And so we're trying to work with the student and family to build trust, build relationship there. We don't take a punitive approach to anything that we do. We take a very positive, rewards-based approach to everything that we do. We're trying to figure out what are the root causes and how can we help address them.
Correct me if I'm wrong, this started here in Tennessee, in East Nashville. That's where the first of this, when you started working with the schools here in the state of Tennessee. You've now moved out into more rural areas. What's the difference between working in a city-based area compared to our rural communities?
Yeah, great question. In that, the problems are the same, but how they manifest and how we solve them look really different. And so in Nashville, we know that there's an abundance of resources. We have a very active, thriving nonprofit community here that can meet the needs of these students and families. What can be hard for a school is to figure out how to access those resources for the school and how to deploy them best. That's where we can come into play. We can truly bridge that gap between those resources and the school. But in rural, what we're finding is we're in the most economically distressed counties in the state. That's how we selected where we went in rural Tennessee. And those resources do not exist. So instead of our program managers coordinating community resources and bringing them into the school, there's still an element of that, but they're having to create it. So while we may be working with organizations like Second Harvest in Nashville to bring food into the school, there's not a food pantry, there's not a food organization in a lot of these rural counties. And so our program managers are having to work with the faith community, what nonprofits may exist, a civic organization, and they're having to create the infrastructure for that in order to get those resources to families.
How can we support what you do, and how can maybe we best support our schools in our areas?
Yeah, 100%. So there are several things that you can do. One is that all of this is a public-private partnership. So it's about a 40-60 split, where we get about 60% of our funds from either the school district or the state to support our work. The other 40% we privately raise. So we would welcome the investment from community members to help us continue our mission and support that. We also offer a variety of different volunteer opportunities at our schools, from book buddies to tutoring to lunch buddies. And so if you're interested in that, please feel free to reach out to us. And if we have a school in your area, we're more than happy to figure out a way to best engage you. Again, you're a resource in the community. And if we can figure out a way to deploy you as a resource in the school, we'd love to be able to partner with you to be able to do that.
I love that so much. Okay, I have to ask, I see some great pictures here behind me. What are these pictures here?
Oh my gosh, so these are our program managers with some of our students here. So this first one here is Lisa at Alvin C. York. She actually, one of the things I love is that we hire people from the community. And Lisa is a graduate of Alvin C. York. So when you go and see all of the class pictures, she can take you and show you her picture there. So this is one of her students that she helped, when we look at college and career readiness, we're also looking at the military and other things. And so this was one of the students that she worked with here. We have one of our program managers here. That's actually one of her students who she case managed at another school And one of the beautiful things we do in Nashville is in several of our Nashville schools, we have a cluster approach. So we're in every single school in that cluster. So when he was done at her school, he went on to another school that had a CIS program manager, and she went to go visit at that other school and ran into him. And he's being supported by another program manager at that other school.
I feel like he plays basketball. He looks like he has the height to do that.
Well, she joked that he was actually shorter the last time he saw her, and that like over the summer, basically, he had grown like that.
That's precious.
So these are just some of our staff interacting and engaging with their students. One of the things that I hold dear and believe as a person is that proximity is expertise. So we want to be able to work with our students and families to help advocate for solutions to the issues that they're seeing, so that we can address some of the systems that they're interacting with on a daily basis that are preventing them from being successful and achieving in life.
Let's talk about some of those areas where you're looking to find solutions. What are those?
Yeah, that's a great question. One is this idea of the community schools model. So while there is communities in schools, what we do is a national model, and there are other providers across the state that do this. And so we want to look for additional support from the state to support this idea of bringing community resources, bringing human services into schools to best support students and families. We're looking at how truancy is addressed and how chronic absenteeism is addressed. You know, knowing that in many cases there are underlying issues that need to be addressed. You know, we want to be able to work with truancy courts. We want to be able to work with other systems and structures outside of that to make sure there aren't punitive measures in places for families, and instead we're looking at what resources does that family need and how can we best get them to them. And then finally, we want to make sure that there's more access to mental health services in our rural areas.
Meredith, any final thoughts? Anything else you want to make sure that we all know about communities and schools of Tennessee?
Oh gosh. It's such a privilege to see this work done every day. Our program managers truly are making such a difference. Normally within the first semester of us being in a school, we see double-digit decreases in chronic absenteeism just by the presence of our staff member there. I think what's really important to you is that the work that they're doing serves everyone in the school, but they're also case managing 10% of the student body, and those students and families are getting that intensive case management so that we can build relationship and we can understand those root causes and help them address those root causes. And I just think it's incredibly important to the work that we do, and just so appreciate the work that's going on in our schools. Our program managers are my heroes. They're just incredible individuals, and they are truly the rock stars of the school.
Such a powerful impact these mentors, these program managers are having in students' lives. So thank you for all that you do. What is your website?
It is www.cistn.org.
Fantastic. Thank you, Meredith Benton, CEO of Communities and Schools of Tennessee. We thank you for what you do, and thank you for sharing this with all of us.
Of course. Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
So the honor was all mine. For you guys, when we come back, we're going to make a visit to Tom Joy Elementary, where they also have a program manager there working with students. We're going to hear from them the change and the difference Communities and Schools of Tennessee is making at that elementary.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
Hi, I'm Dr. Vilay Saisuka, CEO and founder of Premier Foot and Ankle Centers of Tennessee here in Murfreesboro. We offer foot and ankle care from ingrown toenails to diabetic foot wounds. We also fix ankle fractures and things like that.
Call us today to schedule an appointment. We look forward to seeing you.
Because here at Premier Foot and Ankle, we believe that
The journey begins with happy feet.
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. We learned so much about communities and schools of Tennessee. Well, now we're speaking with Jazzmin Mitchell. She sees these students firsthand here at Tom Joy Elementary. She is a program manager with CIS. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
How long have you been in your role?
So this is my second school year.
Your second school year?
Yes.
What is the day-to-day like for you? I know at the top of the show we shared some video with you, but what is this like for you day in and day out?
Yeah, so on a day-to-day basis, I have some structure, but then also sometimes I feel like I'm on call because there's just so many things that I could do. But what it looks like is I do a lot of case management. I do a lot of intensive case management with families. I serve 42 students, which is 10% of the school population here. And so that could look like anywhere from if a student has not come to school on a day, I can check in with that family to make sure, are they okay? Do they need anything? Reminding them to bring in their excuse notes. I can also go shopping for families or whatever, however I can assist that family, referring them to different agencies and resources. Other things that I do is I plan for the attendance incentives school-wide and for our case managed students. And so this school year, last month and this month, I've done an attendance bliss. So that's all the students, all the classrooms who have 95% or higher attendance, they get a class party. So I plan that, and then I also do a lot of partner development and resource development for the school. So I'm consistently talking with volunteers and partners.
The one-on-one time that you spend with the students, it seems phenomenal, and I say it because we're getting ready to hear from a fourth grader.
Brenton.
Yes. Shame on me.
No,
Brenton Gordon, a fourth grader here at Tom Joy.
Yes, Brenton. I met Brenton and his family last school year, and so he rolled over on my caseload this semester, and he's a brilliant fourth grade student. I really enjoy spending time with him. He's funny. He makes me laugh. He sometimes just comes in to check on me and say, hey, how are you doing? Are you okay? You know, yeah.
Well, let's hear from Brenton. He's going to share his take on what it's like to work with Mrs. Mitchell here and what he gets from it, and then he has some really great words to share with some other young students. Tell me what it's like working with Mrs. Mitchell.
Good, and when when I need to calm down, I come in here sometimes, and she tell me like, what do I do? And yeah, and she give me snacks.
Snacks. What do you feel? What are those feelings when you leave the room, Mrs. Mitchell, and you go back to your classroom? How do you feel?
I feel calm, and I feel like I don't have a lot of pressure on me. Yeah.
What are some of the pressures that you feel?
I feel like sometimes the work is just too hard, and sometimes I just need to focus my mind on something else. Yeah.
What do you use to help you focus?
Sometimes I help like breathing and counting to 10 sometimes.
Is that something that Mrs. Mitchell taught you?
She taught me something about like just to breathe and stuff, and I always just started breathing when every time I feel mad or something, and I just breathe or count to 10.
What would you like to say to your fellow students?
Just to never give up, and for those who little and that's in different classes, they can never give up and always try their best from bottom to top. You can always work on stuff that you never did before, and because you don't know if you know how to do it or not.
What a darling fourth grader. You were sitting in the room as, we were Brenton and I, as we were chatting. What were you thinking?
I was laughing. I had to keep my composure, but also I almost cried because it's to hear him say those things, like I didn't coach him on what to say. I just said, hey, they just want to know how you feel about our relationship and about the program. So to hear what he had to say, it just filled me up.
I bet it does. You're making a difference. Do you see that you're making a difference? And do you see the difference between like when the 10% of students that you're working here with at Tom Joy Elementary, that first time for meeting them and then, a few months later, do you notice a difference?
Yes, I do. I notice a difference in how they articulate their feelings with me, how their attendance, of course, gets better. I also see a difference in the relationships that I have with their parents as well, because it does take relationship building with parents. And so I've even heard parents say, thank you so much. You're like a big sister that they haven't had, or, you feel like family. I really appreciate you stepping in and helping us out, things like that. So I really get to bond with both the students and the families.
Last couple of things. I see some coats here in your office space.
Yay.
Coats and some beanies. What are those for?
So I did a coat drive.
Oh!
Last school year, that was a big need that our students had. And so this school year, I wanted to be proactive and do a coat drive with hats and gloves and scarves as well. Yeah.
That is wonderful. Well, I love that. Jazzmin, is there anything else that we should know about your role as a program manager and other program managers working with CIS?
Yes. I would like to say that we appreciate all of our volunteers. We appreciate the funding and the grants and all, opportunities like this to share what we do so that we can stay in the schools.
Oh, thank you for doing what you do for the students. And I know we touched on some numbers early on, but I want to update you on some numbers and one that I had wrong. So CIS Tennessee happens to be in 16 counties, 16 counties here in the area, helping more than 26,298 students. And let's talk about this collectively and the role that program managers play and the number of schools and students being helped throughout the entire state of Tennessee with Communities in School. So between Communities in School Tennessee, you have CIS of Memphis, CIS of Appalachian Highlands. Well, that's a total of 119 schools in our state serving more than 50,000 students, making sure that they are able to navigate the resources that are out there, both students and their families. So just wanted to update you on that number. I also encourage you to check out their website, Communities in Schools of Tennessee. Jazzmin Mitchell, thank you so much for your time, for sharing all that you do. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
As for you guys, enjoy the rest of the day. Have a wonderful afternoon. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
He's an after-luncher. He's a football game half-timer.
All right, boys, it's time.
She's a coffee breaker. Oh, careful. I've got this. She's a whenever I can get 5 minutes-er. Whenever you like to bank, Ascend's app has you covered. Transfer funds, apply to loans, do banking stuff.
I'm a banking person-er. Is that okay?
Yep, come on in. Ascend Federal Credit Union.